Hi, just a brief introduction to digitizing. Notice that we've added empty layers here and we want an image on which we'll identify features. This is the background and we'll interpret features off of this. Now, sometimes an empty data layer has a very large extent. When you zoom to it, it's just nothing can be seen. Everything else disappears. But you have a data layer here in your image and you can basically zoom to that or zoom within that. Now, this image has units in meters. You need to know about your image, both its coordinate system and the units that it's using for setting snapping and for other things. And it's good to have it in the same coordinate system as your target. And also on the image, you can adjust the colors or the brightness through the histogram in ARC. So you can go down and change its symbology just like you can change the symbology on vector features. And you often want to do that to make the colors clear, to be able to identify things. There's a bunch of different options we're not going to go through. You can play with them if you want. And sometimes there are multiple ways to combine the various bands to get different colors. So we talk a little bit about messing with the histogram and changing the color scheme to make things pop a little bit. The image you have in this lab is set pretty much okay for you, so you shouldn't have to mess with it. So once I have then the image up and colored as I want to make sure that I have my editor toolbar turned on. In the customized toolbars, I can do that. And it shows up here. I've drug it to the corner, and I want to start editing first thing. This basically allows me then to edit features, and I have all my data sets showing up. So I need to select in this Create Features window the target layer. So you can pin it to the side here. It'll appear and disappear as you move it back and forth. But I got to make sure that I'm digitizing into the right thing, and sometimes I'll have the wrong thing selected and then the toolbars won't work and things will look funny. So always check to make sure you have the right feature layer separated. So here I have then various tools, but none of them show up as active because I have the right feature, but then I have to click on a construction tool. So I'm going to be adding points rather than points at the end of the line, which is the other option. And I'm going to make sure that everything's set up, and then I'm going to digitize the center of ponds as points. So here I am digitizing ponds as I go along, and I'll zoom in and out and pan around to make sure I get all the ponds that show up. Now there are dark features that look like ponds but aren't. They're shadows. And notice that as you zoom or pan, sometimes the point add tool can get turned off. So you only have to go back to the construction tool and activate it. Sometimes you'll be clicking and you'll do something and then it'll be turned off and you can't add. So you don't have to be upset. Just remember, oh, I got to activate that tool while I'm digitizing after I do various pans and zooms. See, it went off again. So again, I'm going to have to go make sure I have the right target layer and have the right tool activated. And do this for all the ponds in your study area, making sure you avoid digitizing shadows according to the map that we've given you for digitizing. So you just do that, panning around till you find all the ones in your study area and adding values until they're complete. Remember to save your edits at the end so that your work doesn't have to be repeated.